Good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, the Congressman Hoyer, Ranking Member, the Chairman Joyce, Ranking Member Hoyer, and members of the subcommittee. I'm grateful to join you today. Treasury is eager to work with members of Congress to fund key priorities to strengthen our economy, and we look forward to coordinating with you on the President's budget as soon as it is released. Today, I wish to highlight the Department's efforts to boost U.S. economic growth, improve government efficiency, and target illicit actors that threaten our national security. The core components of the Trump economic agenda are trade, tax cuts, and deregulation. These are not standalone policies. They are interlocking parts of an engine designed to drive economic growth and domestic manufacturing. Tax cuts and cost savings from deregulation raise real incomes for families and businesses. Tariffs create an incentive for reshoring jobs and fair trade. And deregulation complements tariffs by making it easier to invest in energy and manufacturing projects. Already, this agenda is bearing fruit. In the first 100 days of the new administration, 464,000 new jobs were added to the economy. In April alone, over 177,000 American jobs were added, more than 40,000 more than economists predicted. All the while, unemployment remains low while real hourly wages continue to grow. As important as spurring job growth is wrangling inflation. And in this endeavor, the administration continues to make tangible progress. The CPI for energy goods declined in March, as did the price index for core goods. And the CPI for all items declined for the first time since the COVID pandemic. While the cost of goods is decreasing, so are energy prices. Complementary to our efforts to grow American prosperity, we are focused on improving efficiency across all levels of government, but especially the IRS. We just concluded a successful tax filing season, but the IRS still needs significant reforms to deliver efficient and cost-friendly results for the American people. In this endeavor, we have successfully cut $2 billion from the IRS IT budget without any operational disruptions. We achieved these cost savings by eliminating, renegotiating, and de-scoping wasteful IT and professional services contracts and addressing long-standing inefficiencies, such as auto-renewed licenses unused for years. This intervention alone will save taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars each year. We are also taking steps at the IRS to reduce administrative costs with a particular focus on paper processing, which has been a long-standing bipartisan goal. Last year, the IRS spent approximately $450 million on paper processing, with nearly 6,500 full-time staff dedicated to the task. Through policy changes and automation, Treasury aims to reduce this expense to under $20 million by the end of President Trump's second term. In addition to making government more efficient, Treasury is committed to working alongside the White House to make America safe again. To that end, we have launched a maximum pressure campaign against violent cartels and terrorist networks. We have assessed tens of millions of dollars in civil penalties against organizations facilitating money laundering along the southern border, and by leveraging sanctions, we are choking off the financial lifelines of terrorists, criminals, and hackers from Mexico and Guatemala to China and Iran. In the first 100 days of the new administration, we have set the table for a robust economy that allows Main Street to grow. With Congress and the White House working hand in hand, we expect to see even more positive results over the next few months. Key to expanding economic opportunity for all Americans is making the Trump tax cuts permanent. We look forward to working closely with the members of this committee to pass this bill into law. Together, we can build a stronger, safer, and more prosperous America. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I now recognize myself for the first questions. Secretary, let's fast forward a year. Where do you see the U.S. with respect to tariffs in the overarching strategy? Do you anticipate all trade deals being bilateral, or could there be multi-country trade pacts of which groups of countries agree to a tariff schedule?
Mr. Chairman, this will be path dependent on our trade partners. As I've said before, there are 18 very important trading relationships. We are currently negotiating with 17 of those trading partners. China, we have not engaged in negotiations with as of yet. So I expect that we can see a substantial reduction in the tariffs that we are being charged, as well as non-tariff barriers, currency manipulation, and the subsidies of both labor and capital investment. So that is proceeding very well. Many of our trading partners have approached us with very good offers, and we are in the process of renegotiating those. With the economy, I would say that this is a three-legged stool: trade, tax, and deregulation. Trade was first. The House, according to Speaker Johnson, expects to move their portion of the bill over to the Senate on or about the Memorial Day, so we're looking forward to that. And then deregulation necessarily takes longer to affect the economy, but I would expect in the third and fourth quarters, we would see substantial benefits from deregulation that by this time last year could be at full force.
We've seen a few numbers discussed in terms of how many countries with whom you have started tariff negotiations. What is the actual number, and what is the status of those negotiations? How many deals do you anticipate by the end of the year, in the first quarter of 2026 or the second quarter? And what are the biggest challenges you see to negotiating tariffs and getting trade deals done?
Again, sir, approximately 97 or 98% of our trade deficit is with 15 countries. 18% of the countries are our major trading partners. And I would be surprised that if we don't have more than 80 or 90% of those wrapped up by the end of the year. And that may be much sooner. That I would think that perhaps as early as this week, we will be announcing trade deals with some of our largest trading partners. They have come to us with very good offers. And what I will tell you is that in negotiating with some of them, they may not like the tariff wall that President Trump has put up, but they have them. So if tariffs are so bad, why do they like them? And then more insidious, we can see that from a practical matter and from academic research, are the non-tariff barriers. If you were to look prior to the escalation, I believe Chinese tariffs are only 5%. So clearly there's something else going on if they're accumulating these gigantic surpluses.
The president released his skinny budget for the year